What is up guys, Jay Blanks here from Blanks Gaming, and I'm excited to bring to you guys a shield and sword guide. Now the shield and sword is probably my favorite weapon in Monster Hunter World, and it's the one I use the most. So I decided to come out with a guide to help people who are curious and wanted to learn more about the shield and sword. Now some people say it's a beginner weapon so they avoid it, but honestly the shield and sword is such a good weapon, and it does take a little bit of practice in order to use it effectively. So what we'll be going over in this guide are the advantages and disadvantages of the shield and sword, as well as the moveset and different combinations you can do. And if this guide helps you guys out, feel free to drop a like, feel free to subscribe, it really does help out the channel. And having said all that, let's begin the guide. Now what makes the shield and sword so great is that you're able to use items while it's still equipped by holding R2 and pressing square, and also you're able to use the slinger while it's still equipped, which is very nice because as you can see there, I was able to make the Otogerons flinch and also get a couple of hits in, which always makes a difference in a monster fight. Another reason that makes the shield and sword unique is that it has a slash attack as well as a blunt attack. The slash attack allows you to sever tails, and the blunt attack that comes from the shield can actually knock a monster out. As you can see here, the shield attack knocked out Diablos, and you can tell he's knocked out by the stars flying around of his head. And because he was knocked out, you're able to pretty much unleash a combination of attacks to deal a lot of damage. The shield and sword also has a high attack speed, making it very good for inflicting status ailments. As you can see here, I was able to paralyze Nergiganti, which might make the difference in a fight. And of course you are able to use the shield to block. Now, I don't use the shield too often unless I'm in a certain situation, so knowing when to use the shield is very important. As you can see there was no way I could roll out of it, so the only choice I had was to block. And with the shield and sword, you do have high mobility, allowing you to move to different parts of the monster quickly. Paired with the high attack speed, it does make it easier to use than most weapons. And with the block, it leaves more room for error when compared to, say, the great sword. There are some disadvantages, which are the short attack range and lower damage per hit, but there are so many advantages that make this weapon so much fun to use. So let's move on to some of the combinations you can do with the shield and sword. Now just to go over some of the basics of the shield and sword, triangle is your faster weak attack, circle is your slower but more powerful attack, and if you're holding forward on the left analog stick, you're able to use the shield attack, which deals the blunt damage. And another useful move is the advancing slash, which can be done while your weapon is sheathed by pressing triangle, and while your weapon is out by pressing triangle and circle at the same time. Now this move, as you can see here, is very good for closing the gap. As you can see, I was able to get closer to Rathalos just so I could get a couple of attacks in. Another move I want to go over is the round slash, which is triangle and circle. This can be done after any attack, and is very useful because it could end a combo or also move you into a backstep, which allows you to do the charged attack. And moving into a backstep lets you do a variety of different moves. As you can see here, the rising slash is one of them, the advancing slash is another, and of course the charged attack, which is your most powerful attack on the shield and sword. And to understand the shield and sword, you have to be able to make this decision last minute on which one to use. As you can see here, I used the rising slash because if I went for the jump attack, then I probably would have missed and it would leave me vulnerable for a certain amount of time. As you can see here, I could not move for about 1 second, and luckily he did not attack me. And right here I use the advancing slash because he was still moving, and it allows me to move and reposition myself for a better attack. And see here, since he was immobilized, I was able to use the charged attack. And another thing to note is that you can use the backstep as a dodge. As you can see here, I was able to move out of Otogeron's way and deal a charged attack for the finishing blow. And the charge attack has two different attacks, one where you're able to mount the monster by pressing triangle while you're in the air. As you can see there, I was able to mount the Great Gyros. and the other attack is pressing circle while you're in the air, which gives you the ability to possibly knock them out if you hit them in the head. Now, the last thing I want to mention about the charged attack is that it is your most powerful attack, so when a monster is sleeping, I always use it in order to wake them up because it does deal the most damage. As you can see there, I believe I dealt at least 100 damage on Odogaron. The shield and sword also allows you to use your environment to your advantage. As you can see, triangle and circle allows you to do a sliding attack. Triangle and circle also allows you to jump off a ledge and do 2 attacks in the air. And lastly, pressing triangle lets you do 1 attack. And it's very important to use your environment in Monster Hunter World because it will help a lot. As you can see here, I was able to mount Nergigante while sliding down a hill. And this allows me to knock him out and deal a lot more damage. And if you press triangle jumping off of a ledge, you are also able to mount a monster. As you can see here, the Great Gyros has been mounted again, and so I'm able to pretty much just deal more damage. And finally, before wrapping this guide up, I just wanted to go over the different combinations you can do. This is probably the longest one, combining every combination that we learned in this video. And as you can see here, you will have the advancing slash going into the triangle attacks, and then the circle attacks with a round slash and backstep onto the final charged attack. And you could pretty much shorten these combos in any fight depending on how much time you have to attack a monster by using the backstep or the round slash at any point in the combination. As you can see, since I just knocked him down, I decided to use the full combo on Odogaron and deal the most amount of damage possible. That pretty much wraps up the shield and sword guide that I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it answered any questions that you may have had for the shield and sword. And if I missed something, let me know in the comments below. And if you guys enjoyed or learned something today, feel free to drop a like and feel free to subscribe. Like I said before, it really does help the channel out. And that pretty much wraps everything up. Jay Blanks here from Blanks Gaming. I'll see you guys next time.